Hi guys, how you guys? It is Beauty and the Streamer, and I am back with another video. So today I'm not wearing anything special. I'm just wearing my sleepwear, which is my nightgown, because I didn't feel like getting dressed today. I'm not going anywhere, can't go anywhere because my chair is still broken. I just noticed my skin and it's looking so good right now. Better than it has in the last few days. No, actually in the last like 2 weeks. My skin did break out at first, but it's getting better. I'm starting to feel some peeling, which is good because I have a lot of spots on my face. I call them chocolate chips, but they're like dark spots. And some of them are like really pronounced, but then others are not as big. But skin's doing pretty good, which is great. And I'll have an update on my turmeric sugar scrub that I got from Cast Essentials that I showed you guys in the last video that I did. I also have some channel updates because I've been doing a lot of reading. So today I wanted to start off with a book review. I'm super excited because I've never done a book review before, especially on a book that's been out for quite some time now. So the book I recently read, I first watched the movie because I couldn't find the book anywhere, but I first watched the movie To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han. This is the cover, and let me just tell you, when you read a book and then you watch the movie, or you watch the movie and then read the book, you'll notice a lot of different inconsistencies in the book and the movie. And of course with movies, things get cut out, like you know, all the little details that go into everything. And a lot of the secrets that are in the book are not contributed to the movie sometimes, just for length purposes, or just because the director might want to take a creative push and do something different. So I've been reading this book, and I read this book literally from cover to cover, and I have not read the second book, which is To All the Boys I've Loved Before, P.S. I Still Love You, which pretty much follows this first book. If you've read the first book, you know what this is about, but if you've never read it, I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to give you my honest opinion of both the book and the movie. So, To All the Boys I've Loved Before, this is a book about a girl named Lara Jean Covey, who is kind of naive when it comes to dating. She's never had a boyfriend. She's only had crushes. And in the book, it says that when she has a really deep, sincere, and like intense crush, she'll end the crush by writing a very thought out, very detailed letter, and she never mails the letter to the person. She keeps them in a blue hat box that her mother gave her when her mother passed away. Lara Jean has two sisters. Margot is her older sister, and Kitty, or Catherine as people who don't know her would call her. Margot is 18, Lara Jean is 16, and Kitty is 9. That is the first inconsistency. In the movie, Kitty is 12 because you see her saying that it is her first year in the 6th grade, that she is going to the 6th grade. That is the first inconsistency that they have. Now, the first similarity is that Kitty is still very smart in the book and both in the movie. She is very opinionated, and she her sisters lean on her a lot for her opinions, and vice versa, and the sisters are very close. But one thing, that was the major thing I noticed about Kitty, was that the age difference was about 3 years off. Like I said, in the book she is 9, in the movie she is 12. But she's still very sophisticated. So another inconsistency I noticed is that the way that they introduce the characters is kind of like in the same way that they introduce the characters in the movie, but some characters you don't see, or some characters they'll mention in the book, like the crush that Lara Jean had on the boy from Model UN. They don't really mention him too much in the movie, but he becomes a pivotal point in the book, because this is basically what happens to Lara Jean. She has a crush on her sister's boyfriend, whose name is Josh. Now, everybody loves Josh. The dad, both sisters, and all 3 sisters in some kind of way have had a crush on Josh or have their own special relationship with Josh. But Lara Jean held her feelings for her sister's boyfriend for a very long time, even letting it go as far as to never reveal her feelings towards Josh to her sister, who ends up dating Josh not too long before she goes off to college. In the book, they've been dating for, I think, about 2.5 years. And in the book and both in the movie, Margot is kind of like the glue of the family, but in the movie she is a lot more distant, and she's a lot more distant in the movie, and she's not really mentioned too much as far as like who she is. So we don't get to really know who Margot is in the movie, but in the book it goes into great detail about the kind of person Margot is and the kind of bond Lara Jean, Margot, and Kitty have, which I liked. I liked their bond because it showed like a real strength within the sisters. One thing that they don't mention in the movie that they mention in the book is that at one point Lara Jean and Margot made a pact to never lose their virginity, and in the book it is revealed that Margot actually lost her virginity to Josh a while back before she went off to college. It also doesn't mention in the movie that Margot comes home and she's not as happy as what she seems in the movie. In the movie she seems very happy to be home, as if nothing has changed. She's very oblivious to everything that has gone on in her absence. But in the book she is still very oblivious to everything that's gone on. But what they don't tell you is that when Margot comes home, she and Lara Jean have had some kind of a distance between them. They are not as close as they were because Lara Jean, of course, ends up tricking Josh into thinking that she has a boyfriend whose name is Peter Kavinsky. And Josh and Peter in the movie seem like they have sort of a history, but not too much of a history. But in the book it goes into detail that Josh and Peter have a history of not liking each other, all because Peter got caught cheating on a test and Josh snitched on him. So that's why they don't like each other. And it's not really revealed until really late in the book that Kitty is the one who sent out the letters. It's actually very drawn out in the book, almost towards the end, that Lara Jean that Lara Jean's letters are sent out by Kitty. She actually doesn't reveal it until a Christmas party that they have. Now, in the movie, they never have a Christmas party. It's not really a Christmas party where everything gets revealed. Where everything gets revealed, it is more so Margot overhears Josh and Lara Jean arguing about the letter. And in the very beginning of the book is when Josh finds out about the letter, but Josh doesn't really Josh knew about the letter almost the entire book. He finds out right away, but in the movie he kind of like finds out and doesn't really confront Lara Jean until way later, until that Christmas when Margot comes home. Also, it doesn't say in the movie, it doesn't show in the movie that Margot has changed her appearance to fit into her newfound freedom. What else was an inconsistency I noticed? Oh, so in the movie they really played on Lara Jean and what is the girl's name? Genevieve. I know it was something French. Lara Jean and Genevieve's rivalry. In the movie, it says that Peter gives Lara Jean's most special prized scrunchie to Genevieve, when in reality, in the book, there's never any mention of a special scrunchie. She never owned a special scrunchie, so I think the director just put that in there just for like dramatic emphasis on like everything that they had gone through as kids, and like just basically tried to build up the rivalry. And more so in the book, Peter seems to be very stuck on Genevieve, but somewhere towards the beginning and the middle, he really does develop feelings for Lara Jean, but consistently tries to play them off because that's not really his type. And in the movie, Lara Jean is very distant from Peter, but she's even more distant in the book. Like, she's not as forthcoming with her feelings, and she's even more naive in the book. Like, she does have grand delusions, which is she really thinks that love is supposed to be this special kind of momentous thing, and it's really not. Like, in the movie, it didn't really play on that too much, but she did have like grand fantasies of like running away with Josh in a field of flowers and stuff like that. Overall, I prefer the book to the movie, of course, because the movie doesn't give as much detail, but the book definitely does, and it definitely gives you a different look at the characters and just everything that they have gone through, everything that they are going through. Also, another thing, the book ends with the book basically ends with Lara Jean kind of sort of losing Peter, or like giving Peter up, and then writing him a letter to really tell him her feelings and trying to get him back. But in the movie, they actually had already started dating near the end, and the second movie pretty much picks up on their actual first date, on their real first date. So I kind of like where the book led off, but from watching the movie first, I kind of expected the book to go in the same order as the movie, and it did not. It actually surprised me way more, and the book is really a quick read. It has let me see. The book also gives you a preview into the second book, which is P.S. I Still Love You. And the book also gives you recipes of Lara Jean's favorite cookies. So I like that, which I thought was very different because you don't really think about characters like that. You don't really think of characters as real people, but I like the fact that it did give you like recipes of different characters' favorite cookies from the Cookie Bonanza, and it gives you full instructions on every cookie that was mentioned in the Cookie Bonanza that made the list. And in reality, I think both Peter and Josh spent a lot more time with the family than what the movie shows, because in the movie it doesn't show that Peter actually spends days and sometimes doesn't spend hours and sometimes days at Lara Jean's house consistently. And then it doesn't really mention Josh's younger brother, which I thought was very cool. But yeah, I really liked this book. I would definitely give it, what would I give it? I would give it a 5 out of 5. This is a really good book. Once I picked it up, I really did not want to put it down. I think I put it down maybe for like a day just to do some stuff for my business. But other than that, this book is really good. And the next book I'm going to review, not on this video, but oh, my bad, my camera fell. But in a video that I have coming, I'm going to be reviewing Kwan's book Hood Rat. And let me say, I'm a good quarter, I would say, away from finishing the book. Well, actually, I'm a good quarter into the book. And let me say, I have so many things I want to say about this book, good and bad. But that will be the next book I review. Bye, guys.